In this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to go over some of the new features that we've added in Pro Landscape version 25. Now we're going to break this up into two different videos. The first video is going to cover the image editor, planner, and proposal features, and then the second video is going to cover the 3D. We've made some major changes in the 3D editor, and we're going to separate that out. Okay, now first of all, the programs, all of our programs, are going to be a 64-bit application. Now what that means is it's going to run much faster and more efficiently on your system. Now if you don't know if you have a 64-bit or a 32-bit system, what you'll do is you'll click on the yellow folder at the bottom of your Windows desktop, and you'll go into the C drive, and you'll see here that you have a program files and a program files x86 folder. If you have a program files x86 and program files, that means you're on a 64-bit system. If you only have program files, chances are good that you're only on a 32-bit system, which is not going to be compatible with version 25. Now that's going to be a system that's probably a 10-year-old system, so they're fairly old systems if it's a 32-bit system. Now other things that we've added in image editor, we've added another 1,200 images to the image library. This includes plant images and paver and wall images that are repeatable patterns, so that you'll be able to do pavers and walls much better. You'll have more to select from. Also in image editor, you'll notice that what we've done is we have changed the way we do cloning. Now normally you would have went to the draw menu and gone to cloning tools, but you'll see that's been removed, and we do cloning a little differently. So you'll go down and select clone image or clone background with image maker. Okay, and that's going to open up our image maker. Now this will give you the different tools, like on the cloning brushes you're going to have a fixed and a floating clone brush here. You're also going to have some elliptical select tools and several more tools here to choose from. Okay, now the advantage here is it's going to make it much more efficient and less problematic when you do cloning. Okay, also from the image maker, you can go up to the document menu and select resize, and you can resize it to get it to in a more appropriate size. Okay, now when we're ready to when we're finished doing our cloning here, we're going to go back to image editor. So I'll go to file and then export image to image editor, and that's going to take it back into image editor with the cloned items already flattened. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this. Now we do have the cloning tools like the rectangle area tool and the irregular shape tool still in the main part of the application, so you can still use these, which is about 90% of what I use to do cloning with. Okay, just make sure that if you clone using these tools that you flatten your cloned areas to the background, and the way that you do that is you simply right click on the cloned area and go to flatten selected objects. Okay, now let's go ahead and move over to the proposal program. Okay, in proposal, what we've done is we've changed the report generator, which previously we had used crystal reports, and now we're going to use something called fast reports. Now the advantage that fast reports gives us is that it allows users to go in and change the formatting of the quote. Okay, this was not available on previous versions. So the way that we do that is we go up here to the top, and you're going to see there's an edit page. Okay, and that will open up the fast reports interface. Now I can go in and I can select elements here, like for example the company name. Maybe I need to make that a bigger size, so we'll make it a font of about a size 14. We could make it bold. We could come over here to the quote. We could do the same with that. I'll just go ahead and make that size 14. Okay, so that's going to change it here. Now this is only going to change it for this one quote, and it's not going to be something that is saved for later use. So When you're done creating this, you're just going to click the exit button up here, and we'll save that. Yes. Okay, so now on the preview, it's showing me the changes that I've made there. So what I would do here is I would just print it out, and it's going to print out with those changes. Now if I close it and then reopen it, you're not going to see those changes. Also, this allows you to go in and to delete things that you don't necessarily want to see in the quote itself, like maybe the proposal name or the project name or the version number. Okay, so that allows you to change those fields. Okay, so later versions we will have the ability to go in and save this as a report template so that you can go in and you don't have to edit these each time. Okay, so that is something that is coming, but not in version 25. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the Planner application. Now in Planner, the things that we've added here is we have added something where we can find the unlinked symbols. Now this set of plants here, I have several unlinked symbols. Now if I go in and I click on them, you'll see up here it tells me what it is. Okay, so that one, it also tells me what it is, but it doesn't tell me if it's actually linked to the database. Sometimes you'll get a problem with the program where you generate a legend and things don't show up on the legend, and that's because they're not linked to the database. So an easy way to figure out if things are linked to the database or not is when we go in to the Tools menu, and I go to Symbol and select Unlinked Objects. Okay, so everything that turned pink here is an unlinked symbol. Okay, so I need to address these by replacing the symbol, and then they will show up on the legend, and then they will show up on the estimate when I do an estimate. Okay, so that is a very handy tool that we've added there. Okay, another thing that we've added is the ability to change the PDF printer. So in version 25 we've added a printer called the Graphics PDF printer, and when we go to File, Export as PDF, that's the printer that it's going to use. This is also a 64-bit printer instead of a 32-bit printer, so it's going to perform a little bit faster than the 32-bit. Okay, so when I go to File, Export as PDF, okay, you're going to see the Graphics PDF printer is the default printer here, but it also allows me to export to Qt PDF and then do PDF 11 and then Microsoft Print to PDF. Now these may give you other options that the Graphics PDF writer does not give you. Now the Qt PDF and the do PDF 11 are not currently going to be installed on your system, so if you don't have those currently, you may want to go out and download those. Those are both free applications, whereas the Microsoft Print to PDF should be included with Windows version 8, 10, and 11. So that will allow you to select which type of printer or virtual printer you're outputting your PDF to. Okay, another thing that we've added in Planner is the ability to import DWG files with the latest real DWG 2024. So that should allow you to get those newer DWG files. Okay, now let's go ahead and move on to another feature, which is to remove empty DWG layers. Now you'll notice if you open any DWG files from an architect that's using like AutoCAD or an AutoCAD compatible program, those files will have multiple layers, 200 to 300, 400 layers, so many layers, and a lot of these layers are going to be empty layers. Okay, so if we go up here to my layer drop down window, you'll see these are our standard layers here, and then when I get down a little ways, you'll see I have layers that start with ZZDWG. Those are all DWG layers, and as you see, I'll scroll down through here, and I'll literally have 200 to 300 layers in this long list. Well, some of these are going to be empty layers. Okay, so the way that we delete these layers is we right click right here where it says annotation or whatever the layer name is. It'll say this in the layer and property toolbar. Delete empty DWG layers, and you'll see these are all of the empty layers. So these are unnecessary layers. So I'll click yes. Okay, now when I go to that layer drop down box, you'll see that there are, I don't know, 30, 35 layers now. So these are layers that had drawing entities on those. Okay, so that's really going to clean up things and make it a little easier to work with. Okay, now there's another feature that we've added we call it select layer entities, and what that is it allows you to go in and select specific layers. So if I have my shrubs, I want to select all of my shrubs and move them to another layer, or delete them all, or just move them simultaneously. I can do that pretty easily. Now on this example, it's a DWG file that I had imported, and it's going to work with DWG files as well. You'll see I have this this parking lot stripe here, and it's on a layer. It's parking stripe. But if I go down, and you'll see here's one called paved stripe. So they're on separate layers. Let's say I want to move that paved stripe to the other layer. Okay, what we can do here is I can go up to the drop down, and I can go down and I can find that paved stripe layer. So we'll go down here, I'll right click here, select layer entities, and you'll see everything that was on that layer is now selected. Okay, so now if I right click over these, I'm going to go to entity properties. Okay, with entity properties, I'm going to go to layer, and then I'm going to go to parking stripe, and I'll apply. Okay, so what that did is it moved all of those things to that one layer. Okay, so if I just go back up here, and I'll go down to the layer that we had before, the parking stripe, select layer entities, you'll see that now all of those stripes are selected. So that can be a very handy tool. Okay, so that wraps up the first part of this video. The second part, again, is going to go into the 3D editor.